Right, young lady. I'm going to have a quick look around now for a safe place to put you. Now, you stay put, or you'll be banging into something that'll make your hair turn white. And we wouldn't be wanting that now, would we?
Father, I found a book in the labyrinth.
You've been sightseeing in there as well. Good Lord almighty, girl. I've been needing to chain you to something.
It has protective symbols. Maybe you could use them.
Bless you for the thought, but I've enough protection from him above. And for that diagram to be any good, you'd have to draw it out and be sitting in the middle of it. And you know something? I've left all my colouring pens at home tonight. Now, you'd be doing me a big favour if you were to stay put before you bang into something bigger than you.
Stay put. Right.
And with those words, Lara got Father Patrick into a whole lot of trouble. So hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider 5 Remastered. This is Algadis115 speaking, and I'd very much like to welcome you to the titular Old Mill. An odd name for an old level. I have very mixed feelings about this one. It's essentially split into two parts, and the first part of it is the worst the game has to offer. The second part is incredibly fun, interesting and charming, so I have mixed feelings about this one, but it's mostly held up together via the atmosphere and narrative, as is the case in Ireland. Nevertheless, in today's level we are gonna get our hands on all 10 goodies, raising the pickups count to 173. We are not gonna land any in-game kills of course, but we're gonna trick 3 enemies, more on that later. We are also gonna find all 3 secrets, unlocking the Codex of Ireland achievement, and unfortunately there are no breakable objects over here, but achievement hunters, do I have good news for you. On top of getting the Codex achievement, we are gonna get a few valuable lessons for finishing the Ireland chapter. Now these are 2 achievements we don't really need to think about, they're gonna unlock automatically as we 100% the level, but there are 4 achievements that we do need to actively think about. Let's start with fail compilation. Today we are gonna get those final 2 points for this overarching Irish achievement and unlock it later on in the level. We are also gonna unlock animal instincts for making 2 little changelings run away in panic. We're gonna trick them not with iron, but with fire this time around. We are also gonna unlock, speaking of fire, roses are gold, Lara got burnt. Before visiting the mill, pick up the secret behind the fires and survive. There is a certain way you're supposed to get the second secret, but if you get it a little bit early and suffer a significant amount of damage, you unlock this achievement. Don't worry, it is still possible to do this and finish the level without using a med pack. I'm gonna talk about that when we reach that point. And finally, we are also gonna unlock Sleepy Merrow. Once we're in water, get rid of the creature in 25 seconds or less. So another creature that we need to trick today. And honestly guys, I love this. This is sort of an evolution that I talked about for a no pistols level, that you have to work around enemies in a certain way. So 6 achievements so far, that is absolutely incredible. There's gonna be only 1 additional level in Tomb Raider 5 Chronicles that's gonna give us 6 achievements, and that's gonna be the very final level. Okie dokie. So Lara told Father Patrick about the bestiary book. This is gonna be very important later on, and what he told us is essentially a hint that in order for the book to be useful, we need to draw symbols and stand in front of them, or inside them. This right here marks the spot where we can draw a protective sigil. Why do you ask? Well, let's see what happens if we don't do that and get a point for our fails compilation. And this, my friends, is the big bad baddie of the Black Island. This is what the abbot and the other monks try to contain inside, actually with a degree of success, and this is why the spirit of the abbot appeared to guide us towards the bestiary book. Inside this book is this horseman's true name and with it we can banish it. That's the mission. But to make it across here, we'll need the chalk, of course, and that's gonna be the adventure as we enter this tunnel. Now, it's a bit of a shame that the horseman was introduced this late in the Irish chapter. I feel like we've spent time with the serpent and with the hanged man, which have nothing to do with the horseman itself, and the narrative does get a little bit confusing as a result, but there you have it. So first of all, I would like to draw your attention towards a flock of bats. Yeah, in a level where we need to be extremely careful about taking damage, there's nothing I hate to see more than random damage flocks of bats or locusts or that sort of thing. But I want to draw your attention to the amount of detail added here via the skeleton. This is absolutely awesome. I mean, seriously, if this is your first time playing these levels via the remaster, let me know what you think of the atmosphere. And I want to draw your attention to the torch over here. This will be important later on. So you can also come here a little bit later once you carry your torch to light, but I just wanted to emphasize that there is a flock of bats, a small medpack, and the torch. Why do we need the source of fire, you might ask? These two changelings. Yep. And guys, this place, this chasm, of course an Andy Sandham level starts with the chasm, is the worst place in the game. As you're hanging on the rope, these fellas will start throwing rocks, which is just wonderful. You're an absolute sitting duck here, and if their aim is good, you're gonna take a ton of damage, and there's not a thing you can do about that, see? And what's worse, we have to rely on rope physics to work properly. But first, let's solve the problem of those two imps, grab a torch, and immediately run towards the only source of fire we've seen. Oh my god, those rocks even reach the tunnel. Their aim is too good. But this is also how you can unlock Animal Instinct achievement. See, I think this achievement was specifically created for the purpose of teaching new players to the game that you can distract the imps like this. Now, I would love to get there without falling to our death. Oh, there we go. Give it a second. Animal Instinct. Make the little imps run in panic. So it took a while, we took some damage, but from now on you don't have to worry and there's no further use for the torch, okay? From here you get an interesting camera angle. Oh, no, no, no. God, I love this place. So anyway, guys, I'll see you back at exactly this spot. I had no idea it's possible to transition from a crawl somersault into a slippery slope, but I guess I learned something new. Alrighty guys, back scaring the little imps or changelings. Let's take this carefully. The problem is you cannot even with a loop key interrupt this fixed camera angle, although the geometry is 10 times easier to see in the OG graphics than in the remastered ones, as is often the case in this game. Nevertheless, what I wanted to draw your attention to is the secret tunnel over here, which contains the first golden ropes. There we go. And if you thought the rope swinging action is over, I have some very bad news for you, but this time we are at least not being thrown rocks at via the little changelings, so we can at least somewhat take our time with this. Now, again, I want to be careful where we go. Okay, my god, the slippery and non-slippery textures blend in too much. Let's make it a running jump from here, rather than anything else, and we should just be able to grab this. Excellent. Perfectly aligned, Lara. Now, with this rope, now that we are no longer being thrown rocks at, we need to reach the entrance to the collapsed mine shaft to actually pry a crowbar from the iron grate. Okay, so let's do that. And may I just say, I appreciate the added geometry via the remaster. We are still being reminded that these are the ruins of a monastery, which is an important part of the story of this place. This is pretty damn cool. So anywho guys, I think let's aim at the triangular ledge over there. That should be enough to get us across. This is a more difficult rope swing jump than the one for the torch. Excellent, there we go. And Lara, do your best, girl. Show us how strong you are, despite being a teenager. Come on. Oh, I bet veteran Winstons are putting you through some tough training schedule. Anywho, crowbar is ours. Excellent. And to get down safely, honestly, guys, the safest way I know of is to jump to the slippery slope over here. Okay, well, we are not down here. You can also see there's a crawl space which leads there, which you cannot really access anywhere from here. We'll need to take the longer route. Honestly, I don't mind because there is a large medpack we can pick up along the way. So, let me just ensure I don't mess this jump up because it is ridiculously easy to do so. Whew, and no falling damage taken. Awesome. So, there is a sliding challenge over here. If you mess it up at any point, you're gonna land down here. Hopefully not take any falling damage. But I want to draw your attention to the large medpack that's in a tunnel, which connects you back to the beginning. So, it's almost like an apology from the devs for what they make us go through. Now, I would really like to do this first try, otherwise we'll take falling damage, which is going to make things significantly difficult. Stand on the right side of this square. Okay, whew, lots of aligning there. Make sure to delay pressing action here as much as you can. And that's gonna ensure your success. Whew, this is more difficult than it looks. Alrighty then, because you need to align Lara left, right, left, and it's just a little bit tricky to pull off. Now, make sure not to drop down, just use this as a shimmy space, okay? Now, there's no risk of getting down towards the imps. That's so adorable. Going wah, wah. But yeah, we would have to repeat the whole rope swing and jumping puzzle to get back here. Okay, now this is somewhat more secret than the actual secret was, but yeah, this is mandatory. It leads to the mineshaft, whose original entrance was collapsed. For some reason, we get a completely random Tomb Raider theme here, which doesn't really fit, but a piece of chalk we can pry with a crowbar, and a large medpack is always nice, in case you're in the habit of using them. So there we go. Now we have the chalk, and we have the diagrams to draw protection rules. So let's get back to the beginning, and mind you, after you pick this up and you approach the square, you can still trigger the fail compilation cutscene, provided you do not interact with the square to use the chalk on it, okay? I just want to be careful where we land. I don't trust anything here. Okay, and again, we cannot use the look key from here, but if we step here, it magically is possible. Okay, Miss Croft, you got this, girl. Excellent. The less said about this chasm, the better. So guys, this was the bad part of the level. What did you think? Is it as insufferable as I made it out to be? Do let me know. But anyway, we are now getting to the part that I genuinely look forward to, which is excellent. Although, it's still bad news for Father Patrick. Oh, I thought Lara can actually grab it from here. Interesting. Okay, let's go. And remember, if you cross this threshold again, the same cutscene will play out, but if you now press the action key, if you have the action indicators on, you can use the chalk. Not the bestiary, but the chalk. Observe. And so the demonic-looking horseman took Father Patrick away. Now guys, the reason this happened is that the diagram was not finished in time. It seemed to stop him for a moment, but not fully. By the way, please don't do what I'm doing. If you now retrace your steps back to the original area, you're just gonna summon a flock of bats and take unnecessary damage, but I feel it's my duty to show you since I'm making a guide, okay? So yeah, this is an unfinished diagram. We no longer have the chalk, we still have the bestiary because it's going to be important later on in the level. And something I want to draw your attention to is the Baphomet goat symbol painted on the hill. This is maybe a bad example of the hill, but I still think it's pretty interesting, and the remasters have finished up the tower, added some additional geometry with light shining in. My goodness gracious, you can smell, you can sense that they had so much fun putting this together, Saber did. They did these levels justice. Anyway, no way back from now on, but that is fine. Let us now get the mission statement for the second part of the level.
Who is this that stands before me, the first to visit me in my prison 700 years past?
700 years, all alone in a barn. Oh, those winter nights must have just flown by.
Silence, ignorant heretic, or I behead you.
Leave him be.
For the child has spirit. But what is that when this island is littered with the bones of holy men? My gift to them for their spirit in obstructing me from claiming my rightful inheritance.
And this inheritance, I would wonder, would be some way to explaining why you're walking and breathing when you should be gone long past.
The inheritance is the gift of eternal life, contained within an ancient scroll, concealed by the dullard abbot and his cohorts, a scroll which draws forth pale demon blood through my veins. I am no longer man. I am 1 foot in earth, and 1 foot above the gaping abyss of Hades.
So why stay on the island? Came for a holiday and fell in love with the scenery.
Hold your yapping tongue, for won't I clip it? Boils and blades plaster over this island and its treacherous inhabitants. For it was they and their pox-ridden abbot who plotted to incarcerate me in this dungeon hole for an eternity. I, Vladimir Kalita, who worshipped in the first Kremlin, who butchered the Swedes under Nevsky on the banks of the river Neva, incarcerated within this prison of flowing water.
Running water? You're trapped here by running water.
Demons cannot cross running water.
Indeed, the abbot's final trick before I was transformed. And you shall find a way to shore up this stream, or your holy man shall be opened up and gutted like livestock.
So here we are on a mission to release the demon so that it releases Father Patrick. Now this is really interesting but also confusing to me. So this was a human called Vladimir Kaleta, a Russian soldier, who found a scroll looking for immortality, and he found a way, and that's injecting himself with the demonic blood, and as we're later gonna learn, from demon called Verdelet, whose name Lara has written in this bestiary book over here. That gave him immortal life, but also gave him weaknesses that the demons have. I mean, can't we just banish him with an iron like the little changelings? Anyway, the idea is that this island used to be inhabited by people, and there was a monastery. It's now gone. All of it is gone, and has been gone presumably for 700 years, because when they incarcerated the demon here, he took revenge and summoned a plague of boils that killed everyone, including the friendly abbot, whose spirit we were following, guiding us to the bestiary. That's the best I can make out of the story. What this doesn't explain is that if the island has been uninhabited for 700 years, why was there an electric bike, and why does Vladimir wear a Napoleonic uniform? Like, his uniform looks 300 years, not 700 years old. I mean, maybe he updated his wardrobe in that time somehow being trapped here. I have so many questions, guys. I don't feel it makes fully sense, but if we ignore the visuals and just focus on what's being told, yes, this is a 700-year-old Russian soldier who turned himself into demon willingly to have immortal life being trapped here, and we need to deal with this situation. So, Lara will help the demon to help Father Patrick, but things are not gonna turn out exactly that way. But we know, since this is a flashback that Father Patrick is talking about, that he is fine, okay? So, I guess it had a happy ending. Lara also made it past this point. So, there is a large mill structure, and there is a water wheel spinning over here. Don't worry, you can touch it, it's perfectly safe, it's not gonna do anything, but there's nothing to do in this area. To make it clear that the demon is surrounded by running water, they added these little streams of water, which I think is pretty cool. And since the current is really strong, let me show you what happens if you decide to dive into it, okay? Essentially, to finish the level, we need to enter here so that we can get up, jump across the roofs, and enter this small water wheel building to stop the water wheel. That's the mission statement. The problem stopping us from doing that is the current over here, so we first need to deal with this current. This is also going to take us across a corridor which contains the third secret of the level. We cannot swim into it yet, we need to make the current somewhat weaker, okay? So the way we can go about this is simply climbing here and reaching the next area, the actual old mill. Let me show you, because this is just a sight to behold. We need to stop this old thing. My god, is it gorgeous. Ah, this place looks phenomenal in the remasters. And I want to capture the mill and the sigil of Baphomet over there. Excellent, I'm happy about that. So, you have another hint of water over here. This is just to emphasize where the water's coming from. You cannot swim back into the previous area because of the wooden boards here, but the water can absolutely get there. An elegant solution how they implemented it, I think. So let's get out of the water, because before we do anything here, we need to focus on roses are gold, but Lara got burned. See, there is a secret tunnel over here, and the idea behind this one is you first turn off the mill, so you get rid of the fire burners, and then you go for the second golden rose. Because of this achievement, however, we don't have that luxury, and here's the vicious thing. You might be thinking, oh, Zelgard is just, you know, pick up the large medpack, whatever, save the game here, get the golden rose, unlock the achievement, and then reload. No guys, Saber have thought about this, and this achievement will do check if you did it this way at the very end of the level. So yeah, we need to be stuck with this choice. Now, there is a way to do this without taking any damage whatsoever. I've managed to do it once or twice, and it consists of pixel-perfect swan diving, but it almost never works for me. I mean, I know my alignment hasn't been the greatest, but still, it's just so ridiculously difficult to pull off. Let me maybe try and do it one more time. But I'm gonna show you a way I recommend doing that. Yeah, maybe if we were aligned more to the right, it would have worked. So, if you have the patience for it, you can absolutely overcome both burners this way. But, since we are doing well in the health department, I would just like to sprint across the flames into the pool of water over here. And there we go. So, it will deal roughly 1/4 of your health bar in damage, but I think it's worth it more than just navigating those burners without taking any damage. Now we picked up the second golden rose, awesome. I guess we know how this adventure ended up. And let's see if we can make a jump onto that ledge. Ah, shoot, I'm sure there is a way if I was less clumsy. Anyway, the achievement is now successfully complete, but like I said, it will unlock at the very level end. This confused me a lot when I played the game for the first time on PlayStation 4, because the damn thing wouldn't unlock, and I kept trying over and over and over. So I gave up, I finished the rest of the level, and then it unlocked. Yeah, it was really confusing. Anywho guys, to stop the old mill, we need to get into it. The problem is that its entrance is guarded by the third enemy of the level, who's also gonna award us with the third fail compilation cutscene. I am talking about a particularly disgusting mermaid. Just look at this abomination. Guys, this is... Okay, it's not as good as the changelings assaulting Lara, but this is still pretty awesome cutscene. Lara just doesn't give a damn. She'll punch the mythical creature she just encountered. Now, let's be really careful. We are thankfully not being chased by the... Well, I don't want to call it mermaid. I guess Merrow should be the name for it, because it's too occupied with guarding its treasure hoard. Now we can use that against it and also unlock another achievement called Sleepy Merrow in the process. So once you're in the water, get rid of the creature in 25 seconds or less. So this timer seems to start the moment you re-enter the water. Doing the third fail compilation cutscene did not in any shape or form invalidate this achievement. Just want to make that clear. What we are after is picking up part of her treasure to distract her, and once you pick up the coin over here, and I love the added depth they gave to the coin surrounding it, that's pretty damn cool. Once you pick up the coin over here, the cutscene where it will start punching you and Lara hitting back will no longer be triggered. Instead, it will start chasing you. And that's when you want to swim all the way to the cage, approach it from any angle, and put the coin inside. Yep, that's exactly what we want to do. And we want to do this within 25 seconds. Let's see how successful I'll be, if at all. So we should still have plenty of time. You need to time entering this tunnel. Oh, no. Let's wait for her to turn, pretty please. Okay, now as she enters that small tiny tunnel, that should be it. And now the cutscene is no longer triggered, but the creature is following us. Let's approach the cage. Literally any angle works here, and add the silver coin. Oh no guys, no achievement. It seems we must have missed, and you guys know on the screen just by how much. That's odd. I always succeeded first time on PlayStation 4, 5 and GOG, but of course when I'm recording, something's gonna go wrong. So let me reload, and I will try this all over again. Alrighty guys, let me just reset myself over here, and I think let's use the photo mode to time this just right. The moment I'd like to enter the water is when she's exiting the tunnel, so that by the time we arrive here, she's gonna do her 180-degree turn and return back. So let me wait a little bit more. I don't know how we do this without the photo mode, honestly. Although, I never had problem with this on previous platforms. I guess I got particularly unlucky this time. Okay, let's give it some more time. And now, is she just about exiting the tunnel? Yes, excellent. Let's go for a dive. And by the time we arrive, she should re-enter the tunnel. Excellent. Let's pick up the coin, Lara, very quickly. And let's use this place. See, it propels us, so I think it might be a little bit faster. There's a small tunnel over there. That's the exit from the old mill, so it's a bit early for that. Ah, this is where we're already supposed to see the Sleepy Merrow unlock. Okay, fair enough. Now guys, we've seen the cutscene, so let's just skip ahead over here. Alrighty guys, now I'm always confused, where exactly does the game throw us after the cutscene finishes? Ah, I see. Okay, let's enter via this direction. Remember the fast current? That would actually prevent us from swimming here in this direction. And we are finally entering the titular old mill. That took a lot of work, didn't it? Anyway guys, I really like what they've done with this place. Let me show you what I mean. First of all, there's nothing in the water, just the way out. We don't have to worry about that now. But the mechanism after 700 years still works, and someone occasionally lights candles all over the place, just like in the labyrinth level. This is a great addition via the remasters that kind of gently marks the progression where you're supposed to go. But, you know, in this place, it could be ghosts lighting these candles, you never know. Now, let me explain the gist of it. We need to turn this a couple of times so that this door opens up fully. I think the first time we experienced this mechanism was in The Guardian of Samarkand in Tomb Raider 4. But, on our way there, I'm gonna introduce you to a new, awesome move where we are gonna do running, grabbing, jump, then release action so that Lara will swing on the pole and be propelled forward. which is so incredibly cool and stylish, and the fact that she could have done this as a teenager is endlessly impressive to me. Anyway, this is not an easy sequence to do, so let's see if I practice this enough or not. I think 5 times should do it, so 1 more. Okay, and now let's jump from the ledge. Excellent, release, and from here, let's just make a standing jump and go, Miss Croft. Oh, thank you, and remain crouched, because of course there is a swarm of bats. Why wouldn't there be? So, we made it just in time as the door slowly closes behind us. Wish I could show you, but I don't want to move with these things around. There we go. Oh, look, Protective Sigil, the same one as in the Labyrinth level, but only from this side. Interesting. And you are probably very likely to just go explore further and slide down. Guys, please don't do this. It's just gonna take you back to the beginning. What you're supposed to do is jump up here. This is the equivalent of the first secret of the Labyrinth level, but this time it's part of the mandatory progression. Yep. And now we have successfully stopped the old mill. But not the water wheel. That's a separate mechanism. But we've slowed down the current enough for us to swim into an area that will take us to the place where we can shut off the water wheel and free the demon and hopefully Father Patrick in the process. See, that's where the camera angle is guiding us. The water wheel is still spinning. Excellent, so now we can slide down, and there's unfortunately nothing else in the old mill. We can just get out. Still adore the atmosphere of this place. Okay, and this was another tunnel in the Merrow's lair that we have not yet explored, but I told you as we swam past it that that's a way out. Now, your instincts might tell you, oh, let's just follow this current to get out. Remember the wooden boards blocking the way? Yeah, we need to go above the water, not inside the water. But look how close we are, and again, the water wheel is still spinning. We need to get to the other side to climb up, jump up, and shut it off. But let's remember the third secret that we swam past by because of the strong current. That current is now significantly weaker, let me show you, and make sure to approach this from the right side of the corridor, otherwise Lara will always get stuck in the corner. And now you can swim into this tunnel since we shut off the old mill, and you'll be rewarded with the third and final secret and hopefully the Codex of Ireland achievement. Let's see. Awesome, there we go. See? Nothing more to it. And now following this place, again, it feels very rewarding to be able to swim here freely after the current was bullying us before. We're gonna be able to now climb into the ledge over here. This is, my friends, what it's been all about. Not even about the old mill, just getting to this ledge. And I'm sure speedrunners have figured out a way to do this, ignoring the old mill entirely. But I'm not a speedrunner. Okay, so let's get over here. And I believe that was also the final pickup of the level, but of course when we reach the end, I'm gonna make absolutely sure on the stat screen. And I guess we climb up, yep, here, but again, it's only half a square, just a little triangle, let's be real careful. Oh, they love their slippery triangles in Ireland, don't they? Whew, alrighty. And again, the Tomb Raider theme, this is a better use because it feels like an accomplishment finally reaching this place. And look, we see sunlight breaking in the distance. So yeah, I accept the theme here. The chalk mine, that was a bit of an odd choice. So it might be a bit tricky to discern what's slippery, what isn't. And I guess this is glass. Again, I have a hard time believing this is 700 years old. I feel like they made an oopsie saying 700. They should have said 300 years, honestly. Okay, now I really don't want to mess this jump up. Is this enough space for... Oh, I don't trust it. Ah! It's probably the remastered graphics. Yeah, let's switch to the OGs and... Oh, that was so much easier. Okay. And now, oh, entering this place is a bit tricky because above is a dynamic object that actively keeps us out. So let's see. Oh, first try. Excellent. Usually I really struggle with this. So, my friends, there's no way out of here, but it's fine. The moment you trigger this mechanism, it's level end. But I'd like to save the game here and check whether we have the statistics I want to see. Oh, thank goodness we do. So, my friends, this was the old mill, although we still have 2 achievements to unlock. We have gotten our hands on all 10 goodies, raising the total pickups count to 173. As it pertains to kills, no movement in that direction, but we tricked all 3 enemies. We have found all 3 secrets, raising the total secrets pickups count to 27, which also netted us the Codex of Ireland. And also unlocked special features if you're playing the original PC and PlayStation 1 version. More on that later in the video. And we have not broken any breakable objects because there are none. We have also unlocked the fail compilation for triggering the remaining 2 fail cutscenes. We have also unlocked Animal Instinct for distracting the changelings with a torch. And Roses Are Gold we have not yet unlocked, but should be about to unlock when we trigger the level end for picking up the second secret before shutting down the flames. We have also unlocked Sleepy Merrow successfully, and there's one more achievement that should unlock, and that's a few valuable lessons for finishing the Ireland chapter. So guys, let's see if a few valuable lessons and Roses Are Gold Lara Got Burned will unlock after the level ends.
Your child has done her job well, and I taste freedom for the first time in an aeon. Do you not now fear me? For you have served your purpose well, holy man. And for this, should I exercise mercy as a god might?
Now, that'd be nice, but I'm not holding me breath.
Yes, I shall spare you, and secure for you a fate worse than death. For when you pass beyond this world, heaven shall no longer welcome you, for you have released a demon.
My faith will protect me from feckless lesser demons as yourself.
Father!
The child, I shall snuff out her life as a candle.
The book from the library. The names. Read out the names.
Ascaroth, Equiel, Arancula, Belial, Bucom. Beliath, help me!
Keep reading, girl. You're almost there.
Chemos, Mustafal. Verdelet.
How is this? I move to strike, and yet cannot.
You've done well, girl. And before you ask, I'll tell you. The book you've got, I myself was looking for it, but as I couldn't find it, assumed you had it. And lucky you did.
But how?
If you name a demon, you have power over him. And you named him. It's your shout, Lara.
For this you shall burn for eternity. I shall drown you in a mire of your own entrails before I squeeze.
Be quiet.
What do you reckon we get out of this godforsaken place and go and get a nice cup of tea with Winston? Almost forgot. Would you be wanting to wave goodbye to our little friend?
Back to where you belong.
And you'll have learnt a few valuable lessons from that, I'd be thinking.
You'd be thinking right, Father.
Her curiosity was eventually her failing.
The path she chose was the path she loved. And for this, we should celebrate, not grieve. Although I fear for Von Croy, Pursuing his inner demons, driven half to madness in his quest for her final resting place, he will not find peace in himself until this is complete.
Alrighty guys, now as is the tradition, whenever we finish a chapter of Tomb Raider 5 Chronicles, I'd like to welcome you to the main menu of the original version because of unlockable special features that unfortunately did not make it to the remaster, which is just a cardinal sin in my opinion. Anyhow, let me load the level after the old mill to refresh the game thinking that we've just beaten Ireland with all the secrets. Let's return to the main menu, and now if we go to the options and special features, we will see 3 out of the 4 special features unlocked, and we've been through the storyboards in the Colosseum level and also with the storyboards part 2 in the sinking submarine level. This time in the Old Mill level we're gonna go through the next generation concept art. And of course, you know what next generation means if you've been around back in early 2000s. This was the long-awaited excitement surrounding the upcoming Angel of Darkness to be released on PlayStation 2. Back when we didn't know what a disaster it's gonna be, so it's a little bittersweet to look at these. Nevertheless, there are images I'm gonna show you that are both on PC and the PlayStation 1 version of the game, but on PC they're at a better resolution. However, there are 4 images that are not here but only on PlayStation 1. We'll get to that. So first of all, we see a giant statue with a massive sword, and guys, I'll be honest, I have absolutely no idea what this was supposed to be. I'm sure there are those of you who are absolute A.O.D fans and experts that can tell, but whether this is in the cut turkey content, I do not know. These could be maybe the Nephilim, you know, the half-human, half-angels leftovers, or it could be some statue built via the Lux Veritatis. Your guess is as good as mine. Now, what we see here, I think, is a shot from the 3D renders of a street in Prague, not in Paris. Yep, and a close-up to a particularly depressing-looking statue. I mean, this does look like socialist architecture, so fair enough. Then some giant door. I'll be honest, I don't know where exactly this leads, whether this is supposed to be an entrance into Eckhard's lab or something like that. And then some scaffolding from a well that Lara is climbing. They use her classic outfit for these concept art images, just to get the scale across. And this is interesting. This is Germany, another part of the game that didn't make it to through the final cut. This is an estate in Germany where Eckhard was imprisoned for centuries in its basement. During World War II, it was bombed by allies and that released Eckhard. So despite him being roughly 500 years old, he spent roughly 400 of those years trapped in the basement of this building, poor guy. And then everyone's surprised he's out to kill and murder people. So anyhow, we get another close-up of the 2 lions staircase and the sort of borders of the meshes highlighted in green. And then without those highlights, we now see the lions holding some kinds of shield, right? So again, this is a really cool backstory that, like most of the stuff about A.O.D, didn't really make it to the final cut. Then we see some concept arts for Lara, Curtis. I have absolutely no idea who the person on the left is. In the middle we have Boaz, who looks way more interesting with those bandages, like she's hiding some surgery scars or occult tattoos or something like that. Way better design than what we got in the game. And then Eckhard on the left over there, who looks close enough, but somehow freaks me out even more in this concept art. Curtis actually looks less edgy and more friendly, and I like that. You know, someone who has a more light-hearted outlook on a situation, not the edgelord we got in the game. God, I can't stand Curtis, I make it no secret. So let's move on, and this is Eckhard. Yep, just compare Eckhard here and Eckhard there, but this is what he looks like, trapped for 400 years inside the basement of this building. Essentially chained in a mask that he can barely see through. This is what the guy's been through because Lux Veritatis were unable to kill him, so they just imprisoned him, is the idea. Lara will actually finish their job for them at the end of Angel of Darkness. Or is it, well, technically Karel, but anyway, it gets confusing. So now we get a render of Lara. We see a very rough sketch of the mesh on the left, something that could have come straight out of PlayStation 1 into her PlayStation model. I think this is a good comparison, but of course this one also has textures applied. With an interesting outfit, she has an armband on her left arm, and I'm not sure if this is some residue from the tribe that rescued her in Egypt, or if this is some gear that holds ammunition, flares, or some syringes maybe. I have absolutely no idea what that armband is. Then more concept arts of Bouchard, the pawn shop owner. Beau is more looking to what we got in the game, way less interesting in my opinion. You can also make out on Boaz's face that her face is sort of attached or glued to fit into her skull, which is pretty creepy. I like that part of her design. And then this is the guy who sprays Lara in the face. I don't know what his name is. I know it's the same character model than Ladik, but it's not the same character. Anyway, another scientist from the botanical research. And my friends, I'm sorry to say that as far as PC is concerned, this is it. That's all the next generation concept art. Now, this is a pretty cool selection, honestly. What I don't understand is why we didn't get all the ones that were on PlayStation. So let me fix that straight away, and let's do a transition into the PlayStation 1 version of the game. Doesn't this just bring back memories? And look, Timex Corporation reference, a sponsor of the game back in 2000. The reason we don't have the Timex watch in the remasters is that there was no such sponsorship. Anywho guys, I would like to load up my old memory card, and let me load the 13th floor. That should actually get us straight away to the point we want. Oh, let's see these old loading screens and the spinning logo of Tomb Raider Chronicles. Oh, this brings me back. I actually do have complete save files for the PlayStation 1 version, back when I was hunting retro achievements, and this is what I'm now accessing to show you the special features that should now, upon the reload, appear in the menu as a selectable thing from the drop-down menu. Let's see it. There we go, special features are here, and you can see the storyboards part 1, storyboards part 2, which are matching the PC but in much worse resolution, and then the next generation concept art. So here we go. And now, after a brief load, you'll see why I wanted to show these to you on PC. Look how blurry and low resolution they are. So just to show you the proof that on PlayStation 1 you have all the same artworks as on PC, but eventually we're gonna reach a point where there's 4 additional images, which we just need to talk about. And there we go, this is the first one. See right after the concept art for these characters. This, my friends, is a highlight of the mesh and the geometry, and then with the in-game lighting and textures. I honestly don't know what this is. Is it the car mechanic shop through which you access La Serpent Rouge as one of the 2 possible ways in Angel of Darkness? Guys, if you have any idea what this could be, let me know. This is definitely not Von Croy's apartment with a cleaner or anything like that, but let's move on. And now a render of Lara in an outfit that we do not see in the game, with a brown leather jacket. And you know guys, I have a soft spot for leather jackets when it comes to Lara. I mean, bomber jacket outfit from Tomb Raider 2 is my absolute favorite of all time. So I would be so happy to see this in the game, but alas, it was not meant to be. Anyway, pretty damn interesting. And for the final extra image that made it to PlayStation 1 version of the game, this is again a different take of the Lara with the armband render. This should be the same shot as over here. So this is another look we get at it, a closer look at that absolutely interesting armband. So let's go back. And again, from a closer look, I cannot really tell you if it has flares, syringes, ammunition, or if it's just a decoration as a reference to the tribe that rescued her. If you don't know what tribe I'm talking about, like many things with A.O.D, this is not at all even remotely mentioned in the game, but there is an amazing audiobook from Jenny Milward, essentially expanding the story of Angel of Darkness that I encourage you guys to check out. I'll be doing that myself as a preparation for when I'll be tackling Angel of Darkness Remastered, just to know the full story and be able to talk about it. But essentially there are some remnants of a cutscene that Lara was rescued from the Great Pyramid of Giza, not by Von Croy, he was a little late to the party, but via a tribe who brought her back to life and even gave her an amulet that she should have been using to expand her abilities in an RPG-like manner that again didn't make it to the original version, didn't make it to the remaster, but there is a mod that actually restores that amulet. Okay guys, I'm thinking of actually tackling Angel of Darkness Remastered that way. We'll see how I'll decide. It might actually be incompatible with achievements. We'll see. That's something I'll need to tackle in the future, but just a food for thought that you have a lot of stuff to look forward to. But before I get way ahead of myself, let me first say thanks to my absolutely amazing patrons. Blangoopel, Mick, Severin Drax, Enstickle, Katie Danger, Pooh the 2, Basic Branny, Bino, and Alex Clark. Thank you guys so much for being my loyal Winstons and for inviting Lara and Father Patrick for a nice warm cup of tea. Next, I would like to say big thanks to my caretaker Winstons, Karavetu, Renegade Derny, Blanket Fox, Dig the Bee, PD92, and Akires. Thank you guys so much for your support of the channel and also for feeding the little changelings with some freshly caught seafood. I would also like to give special thanks to my brave veteran Winstons, Andrea Pavilianiti, Alexander, and Richard Dearman. Thank you guys so much for your valiant support of the channel and also for somehow teaching teenage Lara the new pole swinging move. I don't know how you guys pulled it off in your golden years, but I am absolutely impressed. And finally, I would like to give one very special thanks to my one and only fine vintage Winston, Akira Foxmind. Thank you so much for your incredibly long and generous support of the channel, for being one of the OGs, and also thank you for keeping us safe from Vladimir. What people don't know is that the Abbot's plan has failed. The running water trick works on lesser demons but not on this guy. It was in fact you freezing the barn door up and keeping the demon inside for centuries who have kept the entire Republic of Ireland safe from this guy. The only reason it got out was Lara's curiosity and her inability to stay put. And on a final note, I'd like to say thanks to my free Patreon members as well as to each and every one of you for making it towards this larger video, and thank you for your patience. You had to wait forever. There were two reasons for this. First of all, whenever I do videos also covering the special features, it takes twice as long to produce such a video, but I think it's absolutely worth it. And also, I've been sick for the past week and a half, slowly regaining my voice. As is the tradition, whenever I get sick, I almost always lose my voice, which is incredibly annoying. But don't worry, I've put that time into hard work into some other projects I don't want to yet discuss, but know that it's gonna reflect in some videos that will come out later. Anyway guys, I also want to use this end of the video as an opportunity to talk about the recent news, because I am keeping up to date, that I don't want to make a dedicated video. I think the video would do great, but it's rumors. I don't want to make a video on rumors, I want to make videos based on official communication. And the rumor is, according to Society of Raiders, which I for now consider a trustworthy source, that Legacy of Atlantis will be coming out in 2027 and it's been pushed out from 2026. No official confirmation of this was yet released via Crystal Dynamics, so maybe this is gonna turn out to be hogwash, but honestly, given the 4 rounds of layoffs in Crystal Dynamics, this is hardly surprising. And honestly guys, I'm not even worried when Legacy of Atlantis and Catalyst are gonna turn out, because I'm busy, I have stuff to cover anyway, but I'm worried how it's gonna turn out. That means, how much is the quality gonna suffer for both games given the layoffs? That's what has me really concerned. Anyway guys, let me know your thoughts about this. Do you think it's being pushed to 27 as per Society of Raiders, or do you think this is nonsense? Are you withholding opinion for now until official confirmation? And what do you think is the impact of such layoffs on both projects? I'm curious to have a discussion about that. Personally, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, if it gets postponed, I'll breathe a sigh of relief because it will allow me to tackle Angel of Darkness Remastered first, but I'm still sharing the disappointment with all of you guys who have been looking forward to getting your hands on it in 2026, and it's one of the reasons why I upgraded my hardware for it. So it is a disappointment overall. Nevertheless guys, maybe some good news, although this is again just a speculation, not even a leak or rumor, just a pure speculation. Perfect opportunity to say sorry for this if it gets being postponed to 2027 is give us LAU Remaster. But don't rush it, you know? I want us to be able to properly play across all modern platforms and PC with full achievement support and all DLC, Tomb Raider Legend, Anniversary, and Underworld. Honestly, I am even more excited for that than for Legacy of Atlantis, if it ends up happening at all. I think they've missed the 20th anniversary of Tomb Raider Legend now in April, but I hope that it's something they'll take into consideration once they're ready to announce postponement. Or maybe everything I said so far is complete BS and Legacy of Atlantis will come out in 2026. Anyway guys, curious to hear what you have to say about this. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below, and until I'll see all of you again in the next chapter of Tomb Raider 5 Chronicles, the toughest levels yet, I want to wish all of you happy raiding.